Let me come to Cal.
Hello.
We spoke actually, the last time was when he was on the national tour of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
That's right.
And if I remember, I believe you were in your car frantically looking for a parking space while we were conducting the interview.
You're right. I remember it was a pouring rainstorm, but I'm really impressed actually that you remember it with such specific detail.
Well, sometimes it's interesting when we do these theatre beat interviews that some of the comments that we make before doing the recording some can be a little more interesting. But not in this.
Hopefully not.
Well, you've come directly from that tour to Title of Show. Was there a chance of a break, or was it literally you ended Truly Scrumptious and then you came straight to Heidi?
No, there was a break, and a really wonderful one. We ended the tour of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in August, and it was about 2 weeks after we closed that my husband and I found ourselves in Paris and then Normandy. After that, for me, there was a whole slew of family events. My mother was married, my sister-in-law had a baby, so it was like perfectly timed. I crammed a lot of personal life into the 4 months between the end of Chitty and the beginning of Title of Show. So.
Well, I know that the characters of Stanley and Sal are playing, Jeff and Hunter, not Jeff Hunter. I'm sure many have cracked that joke before. They're real people. Are Susan and Heidi real people?
They are,
yes.
They are. And in fact, I think we've estimated that 90 to 95% of what you see on the stage in Title of Show actually happened in real life. Really? So, yeah, so Jeff and Hunter, you know, independently knew Susan and Heidi and thought they'd be perfect for the project, asked them to come on board. And what you see are what the four of them have described as concentrated versions of themselves. So they're all you know, working in the performing arts.
Have you ever met any of your real-life counterparts?
Yeah. I have not, but these guys have.
Hunter's a friend of mine.
Really? For
yeah.
real?
Yeah.
I went on YouTube yesterday and I looked them up.
Oh.
And I saw the scene where they come up with the initial idea.
Right.
The title of show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that line where I think you say, so what I'm saying now is
Mm-hmm.
a mirror within a mirror. Kind of
Yeah, exactly.
And I was thinking, boy, both Sal and Stanley actually look like Jeff and Hunter. It's not so much the your face, the physical thing, but just the whole persona.
What a compliment.
Yeah, thank you. Let's hope. We hope they think so because they're coming to see the show.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Next week.
Susan and Heidi maybe not coming.
I don't think they're coming. No.
Maybe it doesn't have the same impact for them.
Well, we're quite fortunate because the original Larry Pressgrove, the music director, the role that's being played by Chris McGovern now, Chris has another obligation. So for the final week, Larry Pressgrove,
the real Larry,
real Larry, is coming to play for us.
Actually, you've tripped me up here because I've mentioned I have the full cast, but there is a fifth member who never leaves the stage. Literally,
never. He never
And is
leaves.
severely underrepresented in the publicities.
Yeah,
the unions do allow him a line. So
that's right, exactly.
I
joke
think
in the
4 actually is his grand total in the show. 4 lines.
Now, depending on when listeners hear this interview, because obviously we're recording, and it'll go on the KEZ website, let me put it this way. Coming up this Sunday, February 28th, all 4 of you are in a very special benefit. It's called a cabaret benefit for Haiti. And I want to know whose idea was that?
All of ours.
Yeah, it was a collective effort.
Really? So it sprang from you. It wasn't something you were asked to do.
No,
and when we were in rehearsal is when the earthquake hit, and we were all, you know, staring at the television and thinking, what can we do as 4 actors?
And actually, when the director gave us this great assignment. During rehearsal, he gave us an hour every day to spend in a room writing a musical, so that we were attempting to write a musical. So we would get, you know, an idea of what the characters in the show were doing. And I think the first idea sort of came out of that, a thing we were discussing as a possible idea for, you know, a new show. And that, remember that, Dave?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that sort of was the starting
Well,
point.
we were talking about how many times we have the best intentions to do things with our lives in general, and when I get to this point in my life, this is when I'll start doing this, or this is when I'll start, you know, I'll start that. I think we were talking about like a 401k, or this is when I'll start that art class. Just talking about how many times we put things off, and one of the things was like we talk about helping other people. We're like, let's stop talking about it and just do it, and that's where it really started.
It's very commendable. The show is downtown Phoenix at My Florist Cafe on McDowell. What can audiences expect? You're not repeating title of show. You're doing a variety show.
Yeah. It's a cabaret. I mean, we're doing a lot of contemporary musical theater, things that stuff that hasn't been published or produced. So contemporary musical theater, and then some classics reinvented.
Yes.
You know. But it's about an hour of just good musical
That's
theater.
good. Well, we'll have a link for some of the information, and
That'd be fantastic.
yes,
Thank you.
that is
Thank you.
commendable. And I hope it all goes well. And for the benefit of the listeners who are hearing this interview after the event, I hope it went well. It was a great success.
Thank you.
Wrapping up with title of show itself, I mentioned to you before we started this interview that one of the hardest things to do is to interview an actor or director or whoever, and you've seen the show and you didn't really like it. But the great thing of title of show is it is a crowd pleaser. And even though it doesn't have the, what shall we say, it is a Broadway musical. Before anybody thinks people of four with basically a stock stage, well, it's the talent of the four people that are on there, plus Larry the keyboard player, that keeps it going. And it was terrific. You had a big standing ovation at the end, the performance I went. And the comments that I heard as I was leaving was how wonderful. So you probably don't hear half of that yourselves, do you?
No, but thanks for telling us.
We always appreciate hearing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was the idea of the email in the beginning. I thought I'd let, what was her name again? Annie Sorensen.
Annie
Sorensen.
Sorensen.
Well, title of the show continues at the Herberger Theatre until March 7th. And again, we'll have a link to get you directly to the Arizona Theatre Company's website for ticket availability. And my thanks to Stanley, to Sal, Lauren, and Kelly for dropping by this morning. It's a genuine pleasure. And it's so weird when you have seen the show and you're a fan, and yet you get to meet the people as well. So thanks for dropping by.
Oh,
Thanks, David.